ma vie ce potentiel de lit.
Hi guys, welcome back. I'm mostly just saying that to myself. This is a chit chat types video. I know I've been a bit away from YouTube. If you've watched my Seattle vlog, then you know I was traveling. Once I returned from Seattle, my creativity was not in its element. The momentum was kind of broken. I did not feel like creating anything. And I wanted to get on with editing the Seattle vlog, but I felt like strong resistance towards it. I'm sensitive to energies. I believe most people are, we're just not aware of it. I get affected by other people's, other places' energies, also lunar and solar energies, and sometimes I have trouble discerning whether what I am sensing is my energy or someone else's. Anyway, I was feeling slumpish. I was fine otherwise. It was easier to get along with other stuff in my life. But I wasn't feeling the excitement of getting on with editing the Seattle vlog or creating for Instagram or creating any art just for the heck of it. Then I see this loop of self-critique approaching, the voice of my inner critic. You're not doing enough. You're wasting time. Like, Jesus Christ. So my energy was focused on staying away from that loop. In the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Blank. So in that book, Mark Manson calls this the feedback loop from hell. When you're stressed that you're not making progress, then you get stressed for being stressed. Then you're further stressed that you wasted time being stressed. You feel minimized. You feel like you're not doing anything worthwhile. You feel like you're not enough, that you're failing, and this loop can go on and on and on. So rightly called the feedback loop from hell. Anyway, I was like, you know what, this is great practice, great opportunity to practice self-love and self-acceptance. I won't be hard on myself. I will allow this slump to pass in its own time and give myself space to process this energy. Somewhere this slump and the space I was giving myself got infused with ego laziness. I felt like there was a mountain between me and my work desk. So my ego had taken advantage of this slow spell and was giving me 100 legit reasons to feel sorry for myself instead of doing something, learning something, creating something, adding value, or taking any inspired action. Honestly, it was like an epiphany. Realizing that the mountain between me and my work desk is not going to magically disappear. I need to smash through it and go sit at my desk and do something. And as burdensome as my mind had made it appear, ultimately I'm in charge. This realization was simple but powerful. It put me in a state of resolution and bam, bam, bam. Screw whatever this dark cloud of laziness is. I edited the vlog, uploaded it, and here I am now. And I'm grateful to another YouTube video that served as a reminder that I can do this. So really, in this world, we are all helping each other grow and expand in our own ways. Anyway, what I learned from this experience is that momentum is important. I need to keep creating no matter what, with the simple intention that it can add value and that it creates light, fun, positive energy. Right, so I did a part 1 of Enriching Habits in which I spoke about the major habits I cultivated in my life that affected my well-being, like meditation, yoga, journaling, living moment to moment, present moment awareness, and so on. Today I'm chatting about the little things, the little changes I made either in my routine or in my general awareness that have worked for me. For example, having a set morning routine really worked for me in the sense that it helped me ease into the day. When I started meditating in the mornings, my brain recorded it as something I did every morning, aka a habit. Later I added yoga as well, so they got packaged into a morning ritual. I heard in a podcast on brain optimization that the morning hours, or the time right after we wake up, is sacred for the brain. The brain is in a specific state at that time. It is soft, it is open, more malleable to external stimulus. So that state is perfect to set a tone for the day. So waking up to our phones, scrolling social media is not recommended. Otherwise, as soon as we wake up, we are consuming noise. We are consuming other people's ideas, other people's opinions, other information. We are allowing others to influence us deeply. Waking up to WhatsApp or Twitter versus easing into the morning with moments of gratitude or engaging in awareness. There are two very different impacts on our state of mind. It is a good time to mentally go over what you will focus on that day, your to-do list, what you intend to accomplish that day. It's like organizing stuff in your brain before you take on the day, because how you start your morning can shape the kind of day you have. So I stopped using my phone in the mornings. I was in the habit of taking my phone to the bathroom in the morning. As I'm doing my business, I am scrolling Instagram, I'm watching YouTube. I think I got into this habit in grad school. So as soon as my alarm went on, I turned it off and I would put something on YouTube as background noise as I woke up. And then I would take my phone to the bathroom. And I wasn't like watching morning affirmations or listening to Zen music. It was regular pop culture stuff or social political commentary. Seth Meyers. I watched a lot of Seth Meyers in grad school. Some nights I would play something on my phone as I dozed off into sleep. Sometimes I still do that, but I play something that is specifically designed to be listened to while one is falling asleep. Not How I Met Your Mother or Friends. So I no longer use my mobile phone in the mornings now that I don't go into an office. Some days I don't get to my phone for 2 to 3 hours after I wake up. You don't need to be a morning person to do this. Personally, the earlier I wake up, the better I function. So all of this, waking up with a sense of presence, waking up with a sense of stillness, being grateful for everything, not using my phone right away, breathing, meditating, aligning into my body, stretching my body, waking it up. All of it felt like I was floating seamlessly into the day. I was aligned, I was focused, more at ease. And you can imagine if you were doing this every single day, it's more moments of peace and calm in your life. So yeah, let's talk about gratitude. I think I mentioned gratitude journaling before. So every day writing down things that you are grateful for. There is proper science behind this. Regularly practicing gratitude rewires the brain. It strengthens the connections, the neural networks in the brain that recognizes the goodness around, the beauty, the creativity, the gifts, the nice, fun things. That part of our brain gets strengthened. So your attention will naturally start flowing towards the things that you enjoy in your life or in the world. I heard this quote on a podcast: happy people are not grateful, grateful people are happy. So yeah, waking up with a grateful thought or even saying it out loud, even something as basic as I am grateful to be alive in this day, or even waking up with a smile can fire up the happy neurons in our brain. Imagine if you were doing this every single day. And I understand that if you have not practiced this before, it sounds a bit corny, waking up with a smile, but it works. If we want to be in charge of how we feel, if we want to be emotionally empowered, then these are the tips and tricks to use. So when I wake up, I visualize as much of the universe as I can. I tune into that energy. I remind myself of where I am. I feel grateful for this life, for this experience. I smile and get out of bed with a sense of wonder and excitement. Like, what does today have in store for me? Some days I set specific intentions, like today I will have fun. Today I will learn something profound. Today I will make specific progress. And despite having these techniques, these methods, it's not like every day you'll bounce out of bed with this zest for life. Some days you may very well be in a slump, and that is totally okay, but you'll get better at dealing with it, and you'll likely be more patient and kind with yourself. When we are in this headspace of gratitude, we will complain less. For example, I would complain about the weather. Generally in England, we tend to talk about the weather a lot. If it were rainy or windy, I would acknowledge it as something bad. Like I would get bummed out about it, which feels totally unnecessary now. It doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, it's windy or cloudy. I decide what effect the environment has on me. Only I have that power. I can still have an awesome day despite whatever the weather is, because ultimately I have that decision-making power. And I read in Eckhart Tolle's book that complaining creates negative energy, even something as small as complaining about the weather. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. We do it so often, so habitually, we do not see that we are feeling and creating resentment, and that cycle will not stop unless we become aware of it. So I've been training myself to let go of any negative labels I may attach to situations and ultimately reach a place where I let go of all labels. Anyway, another thing I did and I still do is monitor my social media patterns. I have the mindless scrolling tendencies on Instagram. You know, when you're just swiping and you're stuck in that motion. But through these self-development changes and strengthening this feeling of self-awareness, I catch myself if I'm mindlessly scrolling on Instagram. I close the app and I put the phone away. And the act of putting it away is very difficult, but the more we cross that hump, the easier it becomes. So my rules for Instagram is to use it just once a day, and I limit myself to 5 posts. So whatever the first 5 posts will be, they will get my full, mindful, engaged attention. After that, I close the app. And no, I don't follow these steps perfectly every time, but when I do, I feel ridiculously amazing. It's like a ritual for training my attention span and willpower. And it just feels good to consume consciously and not fall prey to an app that is intentionally built to be addictive. Another step that I took was to turn off email notifications, so there is no buzzing or sounds distracting me. I check my emails when I want to. I believe if we want to improve our attention span, then such steps are necessary, and they consciously reduce the amount of noise we consume every day, audio or visual noise. While our outside world has evolved a lot, physiologically we are still in the hunter-gatherer world. So the amount of external stimulus that is prevalent in modern society is too much for our hunter-gatherer brain. So living intentionally, consciously deciding what I consume has helped me a lot. It just feels right, it feels natural, I feel more at ease, I feel like my brain is happy. I'm building a relationship with it. It's not just another organ in my body. I want to know how to help it function best. From what I've learned, slowing down, having a structure, a set of rules, exercising our attention span, obviously diet and exercise as well, have a positive effect on our cognitive well-being. So when I was doing my office job, on Sunday evenings, I would decide the clothes I would wear the following week. So in the mornings, I am not spending any brain cells in decision making of what I should wear that day. So this rule, this structure eliminated the morning decision making stress. So there's more space in my brain for other stuff. Same goes for breakfast. If you decide or prepare beforehand what you will eat the next morning, it is one less thing for you to make a decision about in the morning. Our brains love structure, our brains love framework. So as much as we can pre-decide, have our rituals in place, the more capacity the brain has to tend to problems that arise on the day. That's why having a daily routine is so helpful. It makes things easier. This is something I'm struggling with these days. I have some rituals in place, but there is a chunk of time in between where I'm just wandering and deciding what to do at that time, which is not the best practice. Because there are like 20 things I could be doing, and it takes energy to shortlist it down to one. But if I have a timetable, it will make my brain a lot happier. So this is something that I am experimenting with these days, coming up with an optimum timetable. Another thing which I've been training myself in, which took practice, and I am still going through this, is slowing down. We are conditioned by society to hustle all the time, to be busy. I used to feel that if I'm sitting still doing nothing, then something is wrong, that I'm wasting time. I must be productive. I must be doing something at any given time. Almost like we're addicted to being busy. But slowing down, becoming okay with not doing anything has been so freeing. We're hard on ourselves with the notion that we must be doing something all the time, otherwise we are lagging behind. Obviously, if there are goals and deadlines, then you are working towards them, but then also be okay to take time to do nothing. It may feel counterproductive, but for me personally, this has been very therapeutic. And this is a big topic to delve deeper into, so I may do like a dedicated video on this. Moving on, another thing which I started doing, which I still do and is a practice for life, is appreciating the small things in life and taking joy in the little things. This ties in with gratitude, mindfulness, awareness. All of these are connected. Like, I used to ride my scooter to work, and the commute was at the seafront. Each time I was making that commute, I was consciously grateful for that experience, and the commute was never mundane, and I knew I was fortunate to have that, so it made me appreciate it even more. But generally, finding joy in the little things, like drinking a cup of coffee, or sitting on a bench reading a book, or watching a film, or walking in a park, or cooking. These little things came together to create a bigger effect. And how they do that is not some feel-good magical thing. There is logic and science behind this. Like I said earlier, you are exercising more of the happy neurons in your brain. The more you exercise it, the stronger that network becomes. And we will find ourselves having fun in more and more situations, and nothing will remain mundane. Why? Because we are running that software in our brain. And this software will naturally get extended to anything you do in your life. Personally, I love listening to music. For as long as I remember, I have been listening to music, but mindful, intentional listening has been a different experience. Less quantity, more concentration, more focus, more attention, more connection. I think I spoke about this in the mindfulness video. This is how I consume music, or at least I try to. I used to overstimulate myself with music or even podcasts. If I were going out of the apartment, my one foot would be outside the apartment and one would still be inside, but my headphones were on and something would be playing. I wouldn't go to the grocery store without listening to music, or if I were walking to work, or if I were walking to the gym, 90% of the times I had something playing on my headphones. And like I said, we are already living in a time when we are overly stimulated. Our brains are stressed out by this stimulation. So now if I'm walking somewhere, I'm more mindful of the city. My attention and focus is on what's going around me, on the sounds present in my body. I'm not adding another layer of noise on top of that. And if I do listen to music while I'm walking somewhere, it's intentional as opposed to just being on autopilot. Frankly, now I really enjoy being out in the city without listening to anything. Being present in the city's sounds. It's a very good opportunity to train our attention span. And then if we've been working on strengthening the happy neurons in our brain, we will experience the feelings of curiosity or general contentment or lack of resistance. So since in this video I've been talking about enriching habits, reading is definitely up there. You already know, reading is a gateway into expansion, self-development. There are so many incredible books out there. We're all Like I said, helping each other grow, helping each other expand. We can all learn a thing or two from other people's experiences. I found reading non-fiction more interesting, especially reading on science and self-help. And while I would love to read all the books ASAP, I pace myself. I read a little bit, pause, think about it, let it absorb. And yeah, I would definitely be creating a lot more videos on books. Yeah, so that's all. I feel like I have been chatting for hours. Obviously now the sun has traveled up to my face. So perfect timing to end this video here. Thank you for listening and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye! Anyway. I want to continue talking, but my next sentence is going to be in a ridiculously different light. So come back, sun. Come back. I guess like shooting with natural light is probably not a good idea. I should have learned this by now. Because the earth is spinning mad, so obviously the lighting is not going to stay the same. Okay. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch. Is that an R. Kelly song? Should it be okay to sing an R. Kelly song? Oh no, it shouldn't be. I don't think. Is that R. Kelly? I'm not even sure if that's R. Kelly. Lighting has changed tremendously since I started filming this video. Honestly,